I'm just getting older. I'm not as strong as I used to be. These steps are challenging. I need someone to come over and lift stuff for me. And you're wondering, is that just the normal aging process maybe? Today, I'm gonna share with you how strength training can change all of that. Can change from you saying, I'm not as strong as I used to be. Can change from feeling weaker. I'm also going to help you understand what lifting heavy really means, because it's probably not what you think when you hear the word just start lifting heavy. I'm also going to talk about how you know if you're lifting heavy enough, how you know you're building muscle, and how to do it safely. So stick with me through this, and by the end you will understand whenever you need to lift heavy, you know exactly what that means for you. You may think that lifting heavy means grabbing the biggest weight and you're like, I'm not gonna do that. Or you may see a CrossFit video and you're just like, okay, no, I'm not propelling a barbell over my head. No, lifting heavy could be as simple as doing something a little bit different than what you're doing today. So strength training is lifting weights to improve your strength, lifting weights to build muscle, and not to build muscle to be bulky. What happens is I see women picking up their light weights at home, doing their workout, and sticking with that. So a lot of times when I meet with a new client, it's like, what weight are you using today? 3s, 5s, that's it. That's the highest amount I have at home. They've been doing that for years and they don't feel stronger. Why is just doing the same weight over and over again a problem? The reason is our bodies, they're amazing, guys. So get this. As we get stronger, our bodies adapt to that and are able to lift even more. So I love this analogy. Moms, this is for you. So you have a baby, hopefully not more than a 10-pound baby, but some people do, so God bless y'all. But mine was a little less than 8 pounds. When they're born, you lift that 8-pound baby, you hold them, and then they become 10 pounds and you hold them. Then they become 20 pounds. You're still able to hold them. You're holding your babies for a while. Like, they can be 50 pounds. You're like, get up on my hip. I'm going to carry you around. And if they were born at 50 pounds, it would have been so challenging. But what happened was the baby, your child, continued to grow and you continue to lift and lift and lift. And you know what you were doing? You're practicing progressively getting stronger. So you've already been through progressive overload with a baby. And now it's time, since we can't carry our 100+ pound babies on our hips anymore, they're all grown up, we have to do it with weights. What you're going to do is you're going to need to reach for a heavier weight. And don't go from this all the way to a super heavy weight, because that's when injuries happen. So next, I'm going to teach you what it means to do progressive overload. Okay, if you ever wanted to build muscle, progressive overload is the word that you need to understand the most. And just like I gave that example of a mom and her baby, that's exactly what it is with weights. It's starting with your smaller weight, going up to the next. Sometimes you may just go up to 2.5 pounds. Sometimes you may go up 5 pounds. It's not jumping all the way up to the heaviest weight possible. It's jumping up to the next weight that's going to challenge you. Progressive. You're just building on each level. Progressive. Okay, so how do you do that in practicality? When you're lifting weights, you're going to see if you can do more than 15 reps with the weight that you're at and your form not fail. So you're like curling it out, and you're like, wow, this is really easy. I can do 15, I can do 20, I'm still not tiring out. that means you're not building any muscle. And that's when you know it's time to increase that weight. So if you're at 3, go to 5. If you're at 5, go to 8. If you're at 8, go to 10. The other thing you want to do is make sure that your form is not failing. If you feel comfortable going all the way up, all the way down in whatever exercise you're doing, then you're ready. If not, then practice and work on form first and then go up in weight, because we don't want you to get hurt when you go up in weight. Now, the other thing I want you to know is that it's not going to be just like every week you're going to go up. It's when you feel like you can get to that 15, 20 reps really, really easily. And sometimes that may be 3 weeks for beginners. Other times for people that have been doing it for a long time, it may take months before you go up in a weight. You may be stuck, and that's okay. It's gonna be different for different muscles. The further out the lift is from your body, from your center of gravity, the smaller the weight is gonna be. It's just harder to lift that weight. That's why when you lift things like off the ground, you're lifting things close to your body. You're not trying to lift further out. Center of gravity helps you lift heavier. So heavier weights you're going to be able to do closer to your body. The more away from center of gravity, the lighter the weight is going to be. You may increase in weight in one exercise and not increase in weight in another exercise, and that's completely normal. Just continue to push yourself. And the other thing is, oh, okay, Shayna, I don't have a set of, all I go up to is 5s. I don't have 8s. Okay, well then increase your reps. And it's like, oh, I've already got to 20 reps. Now what do I do? Now maybe make it more challenging. So put like 2 of the 5s in your hand and curl up with both of them. And then you may have to lower your reps. Maybe you're only doing 6 reps at that time. There's a lot of different ways you can make it more challenging. Like with push-ups, that is just body weight. How do you progressively overload something that's just body weight? Well, you're doing push-ups maybe on an incline, and then you do push-ups on your knees, and then you do push-ups on your toes. See how you're progressively increasing the amount of effort that's going into it? It's not always black and white. It's just, how do you make it more challenging? That's your key right there. Now let's talk about 2 myths with lifting weights. The first myth, this is a huge one. I've had several ladies say, I don't want to go up in weight because I'm afraid of getting bulky. First of all, I want to address that bulking is relative to a person. When a trainer may look at you, she may not see bulky, but you may feel bulky. So this is really a personal preference to yourself. Weights will add on muscle. What happens then is that you also need to be losing the outer layer of body fat that is surrounding that muscle. So muscle, body fat, and then your skin. As you build muscle, you may be getting a bigger muscle. And if you don't lose any of that body fat, then you may start feeling like you're getting bulky. So muscle in itself is not making you bulky. It's the extra layer of body fat because you're not able to see that muscle as it's getting built. Because ultimately, if you lose that layer of body fat, you're going to see the muscle underneath, and that's when you're going to see the toned look. The number one thing people tell me is, I want to look toned. It's like, then we have to build muscle. Because if you don't build the muscle, then you're just going to see flatness. Once you build the muscle, then you're going to see the actual development of it. And as you lose the body fat that's covering up that muscle, the muscle is going to start showing. And dieting will help you lose the body fat, as will muscle, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But that's how you ensure that you don't get bulky while you're lifting weights. The other myth I want to address is, isn't lifting weights dangerous? It's like, okay, Actually, it is not very dangerous at all. More people get hurt in a sporting event than they do lifting weights. All of that comes down to making sure your form is there before you move on to that next weight that you're increasing. If you're worried about what your form looks like, video yourself. Stand in front of a mirror, have a friend watch, have a trainer watch. I make sure that all of my clients, whether they're in person or they're working out online, if they need to send me a video because they feel like their form is off, we do that. I have videos in the app that help them to look and see what the form is supposed to look like when they're working out. And so it's just important to make sure that you're just following that so that we're doing it safely. Why do we want to lift weights? Because there's so many benefits to it. Muscle is so much better for our health than body fat. Body fat makes for more inflammation in the body. Muscle is going to help make for a healthier body, a healthier metabolism. It helps burn calories while you're at rest, helps you get that tone look. Here's some other cool benefits. Lifting weights, putting that pressure on our bones, that will help improve bone density. As we get older, we start to lose bone density. We need to be lifting weights. You're strengthening not just muscles, but your tendons and your ligaments, so your balance is getting better. It also helps us be more confident because when you're strong, you can go and do stuff. I have a client that's like, someone asked her, do you need help with moving that box? She's like, no. And she felt so good because she was older than the person asking her, and she was able to lift heavier than that person. She was doing just fine. And that brings me to the number one reason for lifting weights is just the independence that you have. You can do things. There's so many good things to lifting weights. Just lift your weights. Lift them, and then increase the weight. Okay, what is the next step? What are you gonna do? You're gonna start lifting heavier. And what does that mean to you? Well, lifting heavier means something to you than it does to me. Because maybe I'm already at this weight, and so I need to go onto Amazon and order me a heavier weight. If you see someone putting away some 20s in their shoulder press, and you're like, man, I can't do that. You can't do it yet. The biggest thing is you just want to make your workouts more challenging than they are today, okay? Don't be afraid to lift heavier, not heavy. Don't go picking up that 20 pound if you've never even picked up a 10 pound before. Just heavier than you do today. Okay, just remember, progressively challenge yourself. Let's get stronger together. Leave a comment below and commit to progressive overload and getting stronger and picking up those weights and continuing to challenge yourself. Hope you have a good one.